Lesson 3 is on vehicle costs. So we're going to look at car expenses. There are numerous expenses associated with operating a car. Here is a list of just a few of the main expenses individuals experience with their vehicles. So gas, depending on how much you drive, gas can be really expensive. You might be spending $60 or $70 a week. You could be spending a lot more than that if you drove a big truck and you did a lot of driving. Oil, you have to replace the oil. You might get an oil change with an oil filter. So usually if I do that, it's around $50 to $60 every time you do that. They suggest that a general rule for that is that you get your oil changed at least every 6,000 kilometers. Around every 6,000 kilometers, you should get an oil change. Wiper fluid runs out a lot more in the winter time. Trying to keep it's pretty important that that's full, especially if you're going on a trip, because if it runs out and you're on the highway and then all of a sudden you can't see, it can be dangerous. Tires all season, maybe you have to replace them when they get a little bare. Winter tires, a lot of people living in our area would also have a set of winter tires. Winter tires can make a really big difference. Usually probably $50 about to get your tires changed. Unless you are able and you have the tools to do it yourself. It's also another $50, $60 to have a dealership store your tires so that you don't have to store them at your house if you don't have the space. So that can be over $100, and that would happen in the spring and the fall. You get your air filter changed, you pay insurance for your vehicle. Obviously, if you've had less speeding tickets, no accidents, your insurance is going to be less expensive. Young male drivers, for example, have a really high insurance payment that they have to make, which does get better with age and time. Car payments can be, lower if you bought a more inexpensive vehicle, but they can get quite expensive, and most people pay those every month or maybe bi-weekly if you have a loan to buy a car. So example 1, just looking at this, I want to point out just a couple of things. Here's a list of expenses that someone has. This is Jill. In 1 year, this is what she wrote down and kept track of, and this is what she paid for her car. So this would be $41.56 in oil for the year, and all of these would be how much she paid in a year, except for the last one. So just make sure when you're looking at a list of numbers that it's all a yearly list. So here, if she paid $317 a month, if we multiply that times 12, because it's per year, that's actually $3,804. So it wasn't just $317 a month, it was actually almost $4,000 in a year that she paid. So we want all of those values to be for the year. So how much did it cost her per year? We would add up all of those values now, but using this one because that is per year. And we end up getting $6,988.43 per year. So when you're thinking about buying a vehicle, don't forget that it's not just the monthly payments that you have, but it's also, there's another few $1,000s on top of that for other things that she had to buy. So it looks like she had to get new tires, and she paid a lot in gas. So having a vehicle, if you have to pay for parking, if you lived in a big city, having a vehicle can be really expensive. So what is the amount per month? Now that I know how much the yearly amount is, I could divide that by 12. So that might be a better way to look at it. If I divide by 12, I have $582.37, while her car payment was $317. So it's another not quite $300 on top of that every month when you average it out for the year. So example 2, suppose Jill drove 28,349 kilometers in that 1 year. How much did it cost her per kilometer? So you know that the yearly amount was $6,988.43. And if we divide that by the number of kilometers in a year, so this was a year and this number of kilometers is for a year. If I divide by 28,349, I get 25 cents. So maybe that puts it in perspective. Her vehicle is costing her about 25 cents for every kilometer she drives. Okay, example 3, Cliff needs 4 new tires for his vehicle. These are from Canadian Tire, I believe. They're all season tires. They're $142.99 each. How much will 4 new tires cost him, including 13% HST? Now, this I think that you're really good at doing. So we know there's 4 tires, and there are $142.99 each. So that's going to be $571.96. Seems like a lot, right? That's not a bad price for tires. These are just all season. So to find tax, remember doing this? 13% of $571.96 would be $74.35. But that's just the tax. For our total, we would just have to add those together. So $571.96 plus $74.35. We get $646.31. How much are these tires per month if he keeps them for 3 years? Okay, 3 years. There's 12 months in a year. 3 years. That's 36 months. Okay. So if he keeps them for 36 months, we're going to take the 646.31 and divide it by 36. So we end up getting $17.95. But that's the price of the tires per month. And then how much are these tires per kilometer if he drives 57,000 kilometers on them? So we know the total price of the tires was $646.31. And they're going to last for as long as he drives, and then they start to look a little bare. So after 57,000 kilometers, let's say, they lasted. So if we take our 646.31 and then divide it by the number of kilometers, we get about a penny. So 1 cent. The tires would cost about 1 cent per kilometer, which makes them seem pretty reasonable.